Let's talk about creativity in advertising and accordingly, which creatives to use and which creatives work. I also will get into what to look for when working with creatives in advertising campaigns on Facebook and Instagram. Let's start with stating the fact that visuals do a lot. People who scroll through the Facebook feed will pay attention to the visual component. If an ad catches the attention of a user, they will click on it. If they are not interested in the ad, they will scroll right past it. Your ad should be completely clear. The user should not have to guess what you are offering them. Try to use triggers. It should be clear from the material you are proposing what you specifically do. Focus on the video because video ads really work. And then, as I showed you, you can use the lookalike audience that watched the video. It is possible to use call to actions. Today, I'll also show you an example of an instant experience ad format formerly known as Host. In this case, advertising looks very nice. It is also effective in terms of when the user falls into these ads. They will think it's very cool. And of course, this is reflected in the results. Don't be afraid to stand out. And of course, keep an eye on frequency. All of your ads have a specific frequency they run on. What is a frequency index? It's when a user has seen your ad several times. Keep in mind that you might have to come into contact with a user several times before they interact with your ad. But if we're talking about 7 or 8 times your ad is displayed, you start to annoy the user. Therefore, you should change your settings. If a user sees your ad for the 7th or 8th time, they will probably not be happy about it. Here are some examples of such advertisements. Do not forget that we have ads on both Facebook and Instagram stories. And when it comes to more interactive and more interesting advertising, that is, for example, when the user is shown a video or the user on Instagram or Facebook stories is asked to catch the cleaner. That is, in this case, the cleaning company says in stories, catch this cleaner, which is constantly moving. And this is already an interactive that makes an advertisement more interesting. Video advertising. It's used by a lot of people and it can be created with tools. Today, Ads Manager has the ability to create video ads at the last stage of the creative process. The animations used to be really ugly in earlier version. It was not great before, but on today's Facebook, event managers can make very cool videos. You can interact with your audience through these cool videos. In this case, you do not need some kind of specialist who deals with video editors, etc. You yourself enter the Ads Manager account and at the last stage upload 3 or 5 pictures, and from these pictures you make an animation. Even though it's not a super professional video, Facebook will make it look cool and you will get results from it. And of course, it will give you more sales as you use the built-in Ads Manager feature. You can create video ads in Ads Manager without any problems and difficulties. At the last stage, you just need to go to this section for creating video ads. Here are some story advertising examples. Very often students ask me, if I do not have a website, is it possible to show some products in Facebook stories or Instagram stories? Here we see an example with specific products and how much they cost. How much does a hat cost, a handbag, shoes, etc. In this case, specific prices are indicated and users are already on Facebook or Instagram swiping, clicking, and accordingly already starting to write on the pages which I liked. I was hooked by this ad. Another example is when you're asked to take a quiz on Facebook or Instagram stories. A quiz is an opportunity to take part in a small survey. It's usually pretty simple. What kind of coffee do you like? What fruit do you associate with such and such people? Etc. Or let's take covers for example. I can see a specific case and look at the cost. And now a user can decide whether or not they want it. Of course, ads can be shown in the feed from the Instagram page or Facebook page, and in this case, creativity and messages are very important. Why should a user subscribe to this page? As we already said, the appeal is very important. You must make the user feel like they are getting something in return. Some use cats, dogs, and fish to get the attention of their audience. Of course, some are showing products. In this case, some show creative advertising in this way as on this slide. The automotive and beauty industry use video formats a lot. Above is a picture with the result. Below is a video showing how it is done. Many show demonstrations of a product and indicate its specific cost. The text shall be completely clear. Further, it is possible to receive messages directly. As I already showed you, it is possible to receive messages on Instagram Direct, Facebook Messenger, or through the website. This functionality is pretty straightforward. It is highly important that you provide explanations for your creative, picture, and message. Be sure to include the why in your ads. In other words, try to show what a user will receive if they interact with you. Here are some examples. These are special offers that are given to people who write back to us. In exchange for interacting with us, they get some kind of advice, help, discount, etc. Another format that is very creative and fits perfectly with Facebook and Instagram ads is called Instant Experience. You can create such a host yourself and add several products to it. It is important to take into account that it only works in the mobile version. By using hosts or Instant Experience, you can present your goods in a unique way. It will look really cool when it shows up in a user's feed. Here are some examples. We receive these images from our clients Diesel, Tissot, etc. In this case, we see a specific model and a beautifully designed photo. And then we see the models in the background when a person is offered to make some kind of selection. This type of selection is very effective in advertising and produces great results. Here are some more sample selections. Here is a wonderful example of a flower selection. A user both on Instagram and Facebook clicks and then can choose a selected collection. Here is a wonderful example of a selection containing clothes. In this selection, we can clearly see articles of clothing such as a women's bodysuit, shoes, skirts, dresses, etc. We can see specific selections as well. For example, we can view selections for Black Friday. And here's an example of a user with a subscription to Instant Messengers. A user can first start on Facebook or Instagram. Then he can swipe up and then go directly to the messenger. After that, the user is given the opportunity to write to the company using the messenger. And here's an ad. These are just examples from Facebook and Instagram stories. Of course, keep in mind that you should use appropriate formats on Facebook, Instagram, and stories. This is very important because for Facebook, this is 1080 by 1080 resolution. For the Instagram feed, it is exactly the same. It is also a 1080 by 1080. But in the context of stories, there is a 1080 by 1920 requirement for both Facebook and Instagram. Another cool feature you can use when you don't know what to use in your creatives is the ad library. This is a free tool from Facebook that allows you to watch ads of absolutely any competitor. All you have to do is access the ad library. I will show you how to access the ad library now. This is an official tool from Facebook. To begin using this tool, all you have to do is enter the name of your competitor. Then there will be an ad library that shows you all the competitors' valid ads on Facebook and Instagram. You can use your competitors' creatives to help you come up with ideas for your own company. By using the ad library, you can see what ads they use, what text they write in these ads, and what messages they use in their creatives. This information will help you when building your advertising strategy and content strategy. Understand that the advertisement itself can also be viewed. As you can see right here, we are viewing Facebook ads. In addition to viewing Facebook ads, you should also check out your competitors' Instagram ads as well. It is a very simple process to check what your competitors are doing on Instagram. All you have to do is go to a specific profile and look at active advertising campaigns. Unfortunately, from time to time, this functionality is a little tricky. As I mentioned earlier in this lesson, Facebook is far from perfect. There will be days when you go to these profiles and receive error messages. With that being said, I still highly recommend that you go there from time to time to see what your competitors are up to. You will still see advertisements and active advertisements from a competitor. Okay, now that we've covered that, let me summarize the main points you should remember. First and foremost, it is very important that your video creatives within your Facebook and Instagram feeds are very high quality. The second thing I want you to remember is that your creatives should not only be beautiful, but contain useful and relevant information as well. Every aspiring marketer should remember that a user scrolling through a feed will love with their eyes first. If you do not catch the user's attention, or if your content is not interesting, the user will move on. That goes for both your post and your advertisement message itself. Both must be interesting in order to encourage users to interact with what you are trying to sell. If you ignore all of this and simply post something that is bland and boring, then the user will move on from you. The same mechanics apply for Instagram. You must try to stand out from the rest, or at least offer something interesting. If you're not interesting or memorable, you will simply be ignored. Your users will scroll further down their feeds and you will be forgotten. To keep this from happening to you, I suggest that you try to make creatives interesting and cool. If things are done correctly, then users will interact with you a great deal more. In fact, they will be excited when you drop content. This not only applies to the content that you post, but your advertisements as well. As I've shown you today, with the ad library, popular content equals better advertising.